hotspot in the city, and Willie Lusige is in that part of the city and is joining us to tell us what's happening in Kibra. Over to you, Willie Lusige.
Between the protesters here in Kibra and the situation, and it has been this way since in the morning, where definitely it has been the cut and it's all back and forth push kind of a style here, where the police are pushing the protesters back into the deeper part of Kibra, and then after a few minutes the protesters do converge again and then push the police also backwards for quite a while. So this has been happening since morning, and remember, this is one of the strongholds of Azimio leader Raila Odinga, and most probably it plays a critical role when the leader of Azimio, Raila Odinga, calls for such kind of protest. So what we have witnessed since morning is just the push and pull, where the police are trying as much as possible to be able to limit and guard the protesters from leaving this most densely populated kind of a slum here in Kibra, because many of the protesters are trying as much as possible to be able to access Ngong Road so that they can move all the way forward and march to the center of the capital city of Nairobi. But what the police have been doing since morning is to try as much as possible to be able to fence the entire Kibra so as to prevent any protester from leaving here and going to the city center and also accessing the busy Ngong Road. So far, if I compare this to the previous protests which I've covered here in Kibra, many times we have seen the protesters being able to overpower the police and getting all along to Ngong Road, which is a critical road that joins many outlets from Nairobi to the city center. So today, the road has been serving those using the road as normal, because the police have tried as much as possible to make sure that the protesters do not leave Kibra. We have seen a number of police officers being injured, especially that the protesters here are using what we call like a sling and string to be able to propel the storm. So they do come with a lot of force, and that's why we have seen a number of police also being injured. We are also looking forward to see what will happen at the end of the day, because we have seen this protest being guarded with a lot of equipment and investment, because the police are also using the police chopper, which is roaming above, to be able to give them a critical information on where maybe the protesters are trying to leave the slum, or where maybe there is a high number of protesters. So there's a chopper above which is circling through Kibra and guiding the police on the ground on which routes to use. I have not witnessed any protester being injured, because we are on the safer side of the police, but I've seen a number of them being arrested, and they're being taken to nearby police stations, which I cannot be able to know which ones are so far up to now. But the protesters seem not to be ending anytime soon, because they are really charged. They are moving into what you can say one of the critical phases, because you have seen they don't even fear for the tear gas. They are able to retrieve some of them and throw them back to the police officers here within Kibra. But so far, I've only seen a number of police officers being injured. I've not been able to witness any protester being injured, but I've also seen a number of them being arrested. Early in the morning, 2 vehicles were also banned near the railway line here in Kibra by the protesters, and when the police